Hey everyone, I wanted to do a video today about my journey to become a licensed practical nurse in New York City. I only applied to one program, and the program is the New York City Department of Education Practical Nursing Program. It is one of the most competitive programs in New York City, in my opinion. They probably have well over 1,000 applicants, and they only accept 150 people per year. So to get into the program, you have to take 3 tests: the CNET, the TAB, the TEAS, and then you also have to write an essay and do a personal interview. The CNET is 3 hours long. You get an hour to complete each section. The 3 sections are reading, math, and vocabulary. In order to pass it, you have to have 50% overall, and then 50% in each section, and I'll get a little more into detail with that in a second. How they grade each section is this: you could, if there's 60 questions on there and you get 50 correct, that doesn't necessarily mean, I'm sorry, if you have 50 questions on there and you have 40 questions correct, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're 80%. Excuse me. They're graded. What they do, they have the National Norms Group, I believe it's called, and these are people who they feel are qualified to become licensed practical nurses, even though they aren't nurses right now, but they are capable according to their schoolwork. So they test that particular group. That group takes the test, and then they compare your scores in contrast to them. So even though you got 40 out of 50 correct, that may put you at 42% in any particular section. Okay, so it's not actual percentages, it's percentages in comparison to a group. So I went in to take the CNET. I was so nervous. They fingerprint you. It's so crazy. You feel like you're going for like you're being booked. They take a picture of you and you have, you're testing out your below your chin and you're smiling, and then they fingerprint you and they put on your paper just to make sure you're the actual person who took the test. If any discrepancies do come up later, you're sitting there in an auditorium full of people. There's a lot of older students there. I'm only 21, so when I went, there's quite a few people who are around my age, but I would say majority was well over 30. So it's so intimidating. You're like, a lot of people do switch professions to become an LPN. So you're always saying to yourself, whatever. And then you're looking around and you see all these people, and there was at least 200 people there when I went to go take my test. So I'm saying, oh my God, they only accept 150 people into the program. There's 200 people in the room right now. I'm looking around like, these are my competitors. These are the people who are going to make it or break it for me. So I tried to tune them out. I took my CNET, and it takes about 2 or 3 weeks to hear back. After 2 or 3 weeks, you hear back as to whether or not you pass the CNET. And like I said, you have to have a 50% in each section as well as a 50% overall. So I would say maybe like 2.5 weeks passed by, and I finally got my test results. And I had gotten over the 50th percentile in reading. I'm like, yes, over the 50th percent in math, and I was so proud of myself for getting over the 50th% in math. And then I go to the vocabulary section, and I did not get over the 50th percentile in vocabulary. So at this point, I'm crushed. I'm like, oh my God, I just studied for a few months for this program. Now I can't even move on to the next phase. And I kept saying to myself, I'm so capable of doing this program, and I'm so capable of completing this program. And I was really confident that, because this is really my passion. I really do want to be a nurse. Nursing is something I'm very serious about, and I was just so crushed. So I was like, oh my gosh, I just failed the test. So I'm not going to be able to, complete this program. I'm not going to be able to get into this program. So there's another paper behind it, and I moved the next paper, and it said, even though your scores do not immediately qualify you to move on to the next testing portion, we're going to invite you anyway to come on and do the next testing portion. So that was really exciting. I'm like, okay, even though I failed in actuality as far as requirements go, they're going to let me move on and they're going to let me take the test again. So that was really exciting. And the tab and the T's are actually much easier than the CNET test. So I said, okay, you know, I almost passed the CNET by the skin of my teeth, and I think I'll be able to go on and do the tab and the T's. We took the tab, we got our results automatically, and then we went back in maybe a week later to take the T's. And what I will say is, after you get your CNET results, they give you about a week's notice that you have to go and take the tab. And not only do you see that as the tab, but then it's also the T's, which is something that was just implemented this year for the nurses coming into the 2013 program. So we had no clue what the T's was. We had no clue what the requirements were. We were totally and completely unprepared. So I joined a forum for nurses. It's called allnurses.com. This was a vital tool in preparing for the applications process. There are so many good threads about the program, so many useful information about programs. So if you are looking into the program that I'm going to, or any nursing program whatsoever, I would highly recommend that you join All Nurses. It really does give you it gives you a better idea, because you're talking to students who went to school before you. You're talking to people who are also applying to the program with you. You're talking to people who have heard of the test before, or you know, things of that nature. This is the website for nurses, so that you can connect and discuss different stuff. So there's a wonderful thread going on about the CNET on there, about the Department of Education Practical Nursing Program. So you'll get a lot of useful tools from there. So I would highly recommend you sign up. Okay, so back to the tab and T's. You go and you take the tab. A week later, you take the T's. And not even a week. It's probably maybe 2 or 3 days. You take the T's. So and then you get your applications packet. So just for the tab and the T's, I got a perfect score on the tab and the T's. And then you go on and you take the at this point you get your applications packet, and in the packet you have to get your CPR, your BLS certification, your CPR BLS certification. You have to take your vaccines. You have to show your immunity records. You have to do your titers. You have to take a 9-panel drug test, and all of this is out of pocket. These are the things you're paying for yourself. My CPR certification cost me $95. The drug testing from the doctor's office cost me $50. My immunizations to get my full physical, you know, I had to pay my copay for that. So it is not a cheap process. If you cannot afford these fees, you know, on top of the $40 CNET testing fee and on top of the $15 price of the testing packets, it's really expensive. And then if you do get accepted into the program, it is a $2,500 fee that you have to pay. And this is out of pocket. You're not going to be eligible for any student loans or Pell Grants because it's tuition free. So these are considered fees. The $2,500 you're paying, that is for your uniform. That is for your books. That is for you know, your stethoscope and things of that nature. Anything you're gonna need throughout the program, they provide it to you. Do your applications packet, you turn it in, you write your interview. You write your essay about why you want to be a nurse, and then you do your interview. And the interview is very informal. It's just, you know, general questions like why you want to be a nurse, do you think you can afford the program, this and that. It's not something formal. You don't need to dress up for it. You know, definitely a jeans and t-shirt kind of occasion. They just want to know if you could be able to afford it, if you're going to have enough time to dedicate to the program, and you know, just see if you're really serious about the program. So I'm gonna leave that right there, and then I'm gonna fill you in on the next video what it was like to wait for the results. So I'm gonna leave right here. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message me. Feel free to send me, write me a comment, and I'll be sure to get back to you. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.